I want to talk about a battle we're all fighting, whether we realize it or not. This is the battle of UVS. You. It's not against your boss, not your family, not your competitors, or the people around you. The real challenge, the one that will define who you become and how you live your life, is the fight within yourself. The truth is, every one of us has dreams, visions, goals, things we aspire to achieve. But the biggest obstacles are not external, they're internal. It's that voice of self-doubt, the fear of failure, the temptation to stay comfortable, and the urge to quit when things get tough. And here's the reality: the only person who can truly hold you back or push you forward as you self-doubt is something everyone has faced at one point or another. A constant whisper in the back of the mind that questions our abilities and potential. It's that inner voice that rises up right before a big opportunity asking, are you really good enough? This voice can be powerful, especially when left unchecked. It sneaks in when we're vulnerable, and if we're not careful, it can grow louder and more convincing over time, making us second-guess every decision, every step forward. What's important to understand is that self-doubt is not necessarily a reflection of reality. In fact, it often has little to do with our actual abilities or potential, and much more to do with our perception of ourselves and the unknown. But the challenge lies in managing this doubt so that it doesn't become a barrier to growth or progress. Overcoming self-doubt begins with recognizing it for what it is: a mental barrier, not a factual limitation. It's essential to remember that self-doubt typically springs from a place of fear. The mind wants to keep us safe, but in doing so, it often holds us back from opportunities that could lead to growth and success. By allowing self-doubt to dictate our choices, we stay within the bounds of the familiar and the comfortable, but we never truly push ourselves to see what we're capable of achieving. Taking action, however small, is one of the most effective ways to start silencing that doubtful voice. When we take action, we're not just pushing past self-doubt, we're actively disproving it. Each step, no matter how minor, serves as evidence that we are capable, that we can do more than we thought possible. Self-doubt, interestingly, often appears stronger the closer we get to achieving something meaningful. The reason for this is that doubt is often triggered by the stakes. The more important something is to us, the more hesitant we may feel. Many successful people, from athletes to entrepreneurs, experience imposter syndrome at various points in their careers, especially when they're stepping into new territory or achieving something significant. The fear that we don't deserve our success or that we're not qualified enough is a common manifestation of self-doubt. But the truth is, self-doubt doesn't discriminate. It affects everyone, regardless of their achievements. Even people at the top of their field sometimes struggle with believing in their worthiness. Realizing this can be liberating because it reminds us that self-doubt isn't a personal flaw, but a universal experience. One of the most effective ways to counter self-doubt is to lean into action, regardless of the fear. Action builds confidence, but we often assume it's the other way around, that confidence must come first. Confidence, however, is a product of experience and familiarity. It doesn't arrive at our doorstep out of nowhere. Instead, it's something we cultivate by doing, by putting ourselves in situations where we might fail, and by seeing that even when things don't go as planned, we're still capable of getting back up and trying again. When we take action in the face of self-doubt, we send a powerful message to ourselves that our goals are worth pursuing, even if we're unsure of the outcome. The first steps may be shaky, but each one creates a foundation that we can build on, gradually eroding the self-doubt that tries to hold us back. Another way to combat self-doubt is by shifting our perspective on failure. Often self-doubt arises from a fear of not measuring up, of falling short of our own or others' expectations. But failure is only a setback if we choose to view it that way. If we approach each setback as a stepping stone, as an opportunity to learn and grow, self-doubt loses much of its power. Failure, when approached as a lesson rather than a defeat, teaches resilience. It teaches us that mistakes don't define us, our responses to those mistakes do. This perspective shift can take time to internalize, but it's worth it. By embracing the possibility of failure, we lessen the hold that self-doubt has over us, knowing that even if things don't go perfectly, we'll still gain something valuable from the experience. Self-doubt also feeds on comparison. We often measure ourselves against others, which can lead us to believe we're less capable or deserving. In the age of social media, this comparison trap has become more prevalent. We see highlight reels of other people's lives and achievements, and it's easy to feel inadequate by comparison. But everyone's journey is unique, shaped by different circumstances, challenges, and opportunities. Focusing on our own path, rather than constantly measuring it against others, allows us to tune out some of that self-doubt. By concentrating on our progress and growth, we can acknowledge our wins, however small, and build the inner confidence that self-doubt seeks to erode. In overcoming self-doubt, another helpful strategy is surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us. Sometimes, when we struggle to see our potential, the support and encouragement of others can remind us of what we're capable of achieving. Positive reinforcement from trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues can act as a buffer against self-doubt. These are people who see our abilities and potential, often in ways we don't recognize in ourselves. Having a strong support network doesn't mean we should rely solely on others to lift us up, but rather that their encouragement can bolster our own inner resolve when self-doubt threatens to take over. It's essential to be kind and patient with ourselves. Self-doubt can be persistent, and overcoming it isn't an overnight process. It's okay to acknowledge that this is something we all struggle with from time to time. When we learn to be compassionate with ourselves, we give ourselves the space to grow and improve without feeling the pressure to be perfect right away. Accepting that self-doubt is a part of the journey, rather than something we need to eliminate completely, helps us move forward, even when that inner critic tries to hold us back. Self-doubt doesn't have to be a roadblock. When we choose to take action, to view failure as a lesson, to focus on our own journey, to surround ourselves with support, and to practice self-compassion, we transform doubt from an enemy into an opportunity. Overcoming self-doubt isn't about eliminating it entirely, it's about learning to move forward with it, despite it, and proving to ourselves that we're capable of more than we ever thought possible. Stepping out of our comfort zone is a challenge that many of us face daily, whether we realize it or not. We crave familiarity because it gives us a security and control. The comfort zone is that mental space where everything is known, routine, and predictable. It's a place of safety and ease, where we don't have to take risks or face challenges. Yet, while comfort zones offer peace, they often come at a cost. They can keep us from growing and realizing our full potential. When we cling too tightly to comfort, we miss out on opportunities for personal and professional development, limiting ourselves in ways we may not even recognize. What makes leaving our comfort zone so intimidating is the fear of the unknown. When we don't know what lies ahead, we imagine all kinds of worst-case scenarios, and our minds create obstacles that may not even exist. This fear of failure, of not meeting expectations, or of encountering obstacles we aren't prepared for can paralyze us. Yet the reality is that without stepping out of our comfort zone, we can't achieve growth. Growth demands a certain level of discomfort, of facing unfamiliar situations and embracing uncertainty. When we decide to take that step, no matter how small, we begin to break down the walls of self-imposed limitations. One powerful example of breaking out of the comfort zone is setting challenging goals, ones that are slightly beyond our current abilities. When we set these stretch goals, we encourage ourselves to work harder, to develop new skills, and to adapt to new situations. This process, while sometimes daunting, is ultimately rewarding because it builds confidence and resilience. Every time we step out of our comfort zone to achieve something new, we gain a sense of accomplishment that strengthens our belief in our abilities. We start to realize that we are capable of more than we initially thought. This realization helps us redefine what we believe is possible, broadening our perspective on what we can achieve in the future. Another way to break out of the comfort zone is by embracing change. Change is often uncomfortable because it disrupts our routines and challenges our perceptions. But change is also one of the most powerful catalysts for growth. When we open ourselves up to change, we begin to see new possibilities and directions we may not have considered. Embracing change can mean switching careers, moving to a new city, or even shifting our mindset to see things from a different perspective. By welcoming change instead of resisting it, we develop adaptability, a skill that helps us handle unexpected situations with greater ease. This adaptability strengthens us, making us more resilient to future challenges. Taking risks is also a fundamental part of stepping outside the comfort zone. Risks may seem intimidating, but they are often essential for achieving significant rewards. Many people shy away from risk because they're afraid of failure or of what others might think if they don't succeed. However, it's essential to remember that the most successful people didn't reach their heights by playing it safe. They took calculated risks, pushed their limits, and accepted that failure might be part of the process. When we take risks, we allow ourselves to explore new paths and gain experiences that would otherwise be inaccessible. Even if we don't achieve the desired outcome, we still learn valuable lessons that can guide us in future endeavors. Learning new skills is another excellent way to step out of our comfort zone. When we start learning something new, we're often uncomfortable because we don't yet have the knowledge or experience to excel. This discomfort can make us want to quit, but if we push through, we gain more than just a new skill. We gain the confidence that comes from overcoming a challenge. Learning new skills also opens doors to new opportunities, both personally and professionally. Whether it's learning a new language, developing a hobby, or picking up a technical skill, every new skill we acquire expands our capabilities and broadens our horizons. Taking initiative in social interactions can be a small but effective way to step out of the comfort zone. Many people are comfortable with a small circle of friends or familiar social settings, but interacting with new people and expanding our social networks can be incredibly enriching. Networking events, public speaking, or even reaching out to someone we admire are all ways to push beyond social comfort zones. These experiences can introduce us to new perspectives, ideas, and opportunities that wouldn't have been possible if we had stayed within the confines of our usual social circles. One of the best ways to consistently step out of our comfort zone is by developing a growth mindset. This mindset emphasizes the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When we adopt a growth mindset, we're more willing to take on challenges, even if they're intimidating or uncomfortable, because we believe in our ability to improve and grow. A growth mindset helps us see obstacles as opportunities for learning rather than threats to our self-worth. By shifting our perspective, we become more open to taking risks and less afraid of making mistakes. Overcoming the fear of failure is also crucial in breaking free from our comfort zones. Many people are afraid to try new things because they fear they won't succeed, and this fear keeps them stuck in familiar routines. However, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone toward it. Each time we fail, we gain insights into what works and what doesn't. Failure teaches us resilience, patience, and the importance of persistence. When we learn to see failure as a part of the growth process, we're more likely to take risks and embrace challenges. This shift in perspective empowers us to take bolder steps outside our comfort zone, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, we'll gain something valuable. Perfectionism can also hold us back from stepping out of our comfort zone. Many people hesitate to try new things because they want to do everything perfectly on the first attempt. But perfectionism is a trap. It creates unrealistic standards that no one can consistently meet. When we let go of the need to be perfect and instead focus on progress, we become more willing to try things that may not go perfectly the first time. Accepting that we'll make mistakes along the way frees us to explore new experiences without the pressure of perfection. This mindset shift encourages us to take the leap, to try, and to learn, even if it means stumbling at first. Stepping out of the comfort zone is a journey of self-discovery. Every time we push our boundaries, we uncover strengths, talents, and capacities we may not have known we had. We become more adaptable, resilient, and open-minded. Life becomes richer and more fulfilling when we embrace the discomfort of growth. While it may not be easy, the rewards of stepping out of our comfort zones far outweigh the temporary discomfort it brings. When we make a habit of facing challenges and embracing the unfamiliar, we start to see our comfort zone expand. Over time, the things that once seemed daunting become second nature, and we find ourselves achieving goals we once thought were out of reach. Fear of failure is a natural and powerful emotion that affects nearly everyone at some point. It is an instinctual response born from our need for survival, where we associate the unknown with potential danger or loss. Yet in modern life, this fear can become one of the biggest barriers to achieving our true potential. Many people allow the fear of failure to prevent them from taking risks, trying new things, or even pursuing their dreams. But the reality is that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Failure provides lessons, strengthens resilience, and sharpens our skills, each of which is essential to meaningful progress and success. Learning to embrace failure as an opportunity for growth, rather than as something to be avoided, can change our entire approach to challenges and allow us to pursue our goals without hesitation. One of the biggest misconceptions about failure is that it defines us as individuals. When we experience setbacks, it's easy to internalize those experiences and think, I am a failure, but failure is not an identity, it is simply an experience. Just as we don't become the sunshine when we're happy or the storm when we're sad, we don't become failures when things don't work out as planned. Instead, failure is a momentary event, a temporary state that allows us to gather information and adjust our approach. When we separate our self-worth from our outcomes, we free ourselves to try, to experiment, and to push the boundaries without fear of defining ourselves by our results. To change our perception of failure, it's helpful to view it as a feedback mechanism. Each time we fall short, we gain insight into what works and what doesn't, helping us refine our approach. In a sense, failure can be thought of as a compass, pointing us toward areas where we need to develop new skills, increase our resilience, or adjust our methods. When we approach failure with curiosity rather than judgment, it loses its intimidating edge. Instead of being afraid of making mistakes, we begin to see each attempt, successful or not, as valuable information that brings us closer to our goals. This mindset shift can empower us to take bolder steps, knowing that even if we stumble, we're still moving forward. One of the most inspiring aspects of failure is how it teaches resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, and it is a crucial component of success in any field. People who achieve great things are not those who have never failed, but those who have failed repeatedly and chosen to keep going. Think of inventors, athletes, or artists. They didn't get to where they are by succeeding at every turn. They learned from each attempt, building mental toughness along the way. When we experience failure, we're given the opportunity to build resilience, to practice getting back up after we fall. This resilience becomes an asset that not only helps us achieve our goals, but also makes us more adaptable and courageous in the face of future challenges. Failure also has the unique power to reveal our true values and passions. When things don't work out, we often reassess why we're doing something in the first place. If we are pursuing a goal merely for external validation or societal expectations, failure can sometimes make us give up quickly because our heart was never truly in it. But when our motivation is rooted in a genuine desire to succeed or in a deep passion for what we're doing, failure becomes less discouraging and more motivating. Each setback only strengthens our resolve to continue. In this way, failure acts as a filter, helping us distinguish between what truly matters to us and what doesn't. When we're driven by genuine passion, failure becomes just another step along the journey, not an endpoint. Another important aspect of overcoming the fear of failure is recognizing that perfection is an illusion. We often hesitate to take risks because we want to do things perfectly the first time. But the pursuit of perfection can paralyze us, keeping us in a cycle of planning and preparing without ever taking action. In reality, there is no such thing as perfect timing, perfect skills, or perfect outcomes. Every successful person has a history of imperfect attempts. They learn and improve over time, recognizing that their early efforts are stepping stones to better outcomes in the future. Letting go of the need for perfection allows us to take imperfect action, to start somewhere, and to improve along the way. When we accept that mistakes are part of the process, we free ourselves to take risks and learn from the experience. Failure can also be a powerful teacher of humility. Success, especially when it comes easily, can sometimes make us complacent or overconfident. When we experience failure, it humbles us, reminding us that there is always room to grow and learn. This humility helps us stay grounded and open to advice, criticism, and improvement. Failure has a way of breaking down our egos, helping us to see ourselves and our abilities more realistically. This humility can be a tremendous advantage because it allows us to listen, adapt, and continue growing without the weight of overconfidence. Acknowledging our limitations is not a weakness, it is a strength that allows us to keep refining our skills. Another critical part of overcoming the fear of failure is surrounding ourselves with people who view failure in a healthy way. Our environment significantly influences how we see challenges and setbacks. When we have supportive people around us who encourage us to try, regardless of the outcome, we're more likely to take risks. Constructive feedback from trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues can help us see failure as a part of the learning curve, not a reflection of our worth. These individuals remind us that setbacks are natural and that our efforts matter more than our immediate results. A supportive community can make a world of difference in how we perceive and respond to failure. Overcoming the fear of failure requires a long-term perspective. When we're focused solely on short-term results, failure can feel like a massive roadblock. But when we see our goals in the context of a lifelong journey, each setback becomes a small part of a much larger picture. This perspective allows us to view failure as a temporary setback rather than an end. Many successful people didn't see major achievements right away. They had to go through years of trial, error, and improvement. By viewing failure within the larger context of our lives, we reduce its power to discourage us. Instead, we see it as a normal part of our journey, one that contributes to our growth and development over time. The fear of failure will always be present to some extent, but it doesn't have to control us. When we start to see failure as an opportunity for growth, as a teacher, and as a part of the path to success, we can approach our goals with courage. We become willing to take risks, to embrace the unknown, and to keep moving forward, even when we stumble. Failure may feel intimidating, but it also holds the potential to unlock strengths, skills, and insights we never knew we had. By choosing to face the fear of failure, we step into a world of possibilities, realizing that it is only through these experiences that we can become the best version of ourselves. Consistency is often seen as the unglamorous side of success, but it is the driving force behind real, lasting progress. While motivation can be powerful, it's often fleeting. It's there one day, gone the next, leaving us at the mercy of our emotions and energy levels. Consistency, however, is what turns goals into accomplishments and dreams into reality. It's the steady daily commitment to showing up and doing the work, even when it's hard, even when the rewards aren't immediately visible. By focusing on consistency, we build momentum over time, creating habits that sustain us and bring us closer to our aspirations, one small step at a time. A common misconception about success is that it's fueled by intense bursts of effort or grand gestures. While these moments of high energy can propel us forward, they are rarely sustainable in the long run. Success is less about how hard we work in short bursts and more about how steadily we work over time. Consider the analogy of a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but with each roll, it gathers more snow, building momentum and becoming larger. Consistency works the same way each day. Each effort, each step compounds, creating a larger impact than any single intense push ever could. By focusing on steady, incremental progress, we harness the power of accumulation, where small actions repeated consistently result in significant growth and achievement over time. One of the primary reasons consistency is so effective is that it leads to habit formation. When we perform an action repeatedly, it becomes a habit, something we do without needing much thought or willpower. This is crucial because, unlike motivation, which fluctuates, habits operate almost automatically. Once we establish habits aligned with our goals, they take on a life of their own, requiring less conscious effort and energy. For example, if we're trying to get fit, going to the gym sporadically isn't likely to lead to much improvement. But by consistently exercising, even if it's just a short workout each day, we build a habit that makes physical activity a regular part of our routine. Over time, we no longer need to convince ourselves to go to the gym. It becomes something we do naturally, part of our lifestyle. By focusing on consistency, we can effectively shift our behaviors in ways that support our long-term goals. Consistency also helps us stay connected to our purpose. When we commit to showing up each day, we are continually reminded of why we set out on this journey in the first place. This daily reinforcement strengthens our dedication and keeps our goals front and center, even when distractions arise or challenges emerge. Without consistency, it's easy to lose sight of our objectives, especially when the path becomes difficult. By engaging with our goals regularly, we create a routine that reinforces our commitment, keeping our motivation alive and our purpose clear. This regular engagement also helps us cultivate a sense of accountability, as each day's actions build on the last. We come to see ourselves as someone who shows up for what matters, creating a positive feedback loop that reinforces our self-belief. The power of consistency is particularly evident in skill development. Many people assume that talent is the key to mastering a skill, but consistency is far more critical. Whether it's learning to play an instrument, mastering a language, or improving a professional skill, consistent practice is essential for progress. Skills improve gradually, they don't suddenly appear overnight. Each day of practice adds a little more to our understanding and capability. The idea of practice makes perfect may sound cliche, but it's true. Consistent, focused practice leads to mastery. By committing to regular practice, we build on our strengths and address our weaknesses, slowly refining our abilities. Over time, we gain confidence and expertise, moving closer to our goals. Consistency also plays a vital role in building resilience. When we commit to regular, consistent effort, we train ourselves to keep going even when we don't feel like it. This is particularly important during times of doubt or difficulty. Challenges are inevitable in any journey, and setbacks can easily throw us off course if we're relying solely on motivation. However, when we have a foundation of consistency, we are better equipped to push through these tough times. We've already built the discipline to show up regardless of external circumstances. This resilience becomes a powerful tool, enabling us to weather challenges and persevere when others might give up. Consistency helps us develop grit, that combination of passion and perseverance that drives sustained effort toward long-term goals. Consistency is also essential for maintaining and tracking progress. Without regular effort, it's difficult to measure improvement, as sporadic attempts don't provide a clear picture of growth. When we're consistent, we can more easily monitor our progress and see the small, incremental gains that might otherwise go unnoticed. This visible progress provides encouragement, showing us that our efforts are paying off, even if the gains seem small. By measuring our progress regularly, we also gain valuable insights into what's working and what isn't, allowing us to make adjustments and continue moving forward. These small victories act as powerful motivators, reinforcing our belief in our ability to achieve our goals. Consistency can sometimes feel monotonous, and this is where patience comes into play. The results of consistent effort don't always show up immediately, which can be discouraging if we're looking for quick wins. But success, particularly meaningful and lasting success, is rarely achieved overnight. By embracing consistency, we learn to value the process as much as the outcome. We come to understand that the journey itself is transformative, shaping us in ways that are often more important than the end result. The small, everyday actions teach us discipline, patience, and dedication, qualities that enrich our lives beyond any specific goal. Consistency reminds us that good things take time and that lasting success is the result of ongoing, committed effort. One of the most underrated benefits of consistency is the confidence it builds. Every time we follow through on a commitment, we reinforce the belief that we can rely on ourselves. This self-trust becomes a powerful motivator, encouraging us to set and pursue even more ambitious goals. Each small action we complete day after day serves as proof that we are capable and dependable. Over time, this confidence grows, fueling our drive and inspiring us to take on bigger challenges. By being consistent, we build an identity rooted in perseverance and reliability, giving us the foundation to take on whatever comes our way. Consistency is about building a legacy of steady, meaningful progress. By committing to our goals and showing up every day, we lay down the building blocks of a successful life. It's not always about grand achievements or dramatic results. It's about the gradual accumulation of small efforts that compound over time. Whether it's developing a skill, pursuing a dream, or working on personal growth, consistency is the force that makes things happen. It allows us to bridge the gap between where we are and where we want to be, turning aspirations into accomplishments. In the end, consistency isn't just about achieving a goal, it's about becoming the kind of person who pursues and achieves with integrity and persistence. It's about building a life that reflects our values, our dedication, and our willingness to put in the work every single day. Setting realistic and achievable goals is a critical part of any success journey. Goals act as our roadmap, guiding us toward the vision we have for our lives and careers. But not all goals are created equal. Some can motivate and inspire, while others can overwhelm or mislead us. That's why setting realistic, achievable goals, ones that align with our abilities, resources, and current circumstances, can be the difference between consistent progress and feeling defeated. By grounding our goals in reality while also allowing room for growth, we set ourselves up for sustainable success, resilience in the face of challenges, and a clear path toward achieving our aspirations. The first step in setting realistic goals is understanding where we are right now. This means taking an honest inventory of our strengths, weaknesses, resources, and limitations. Too often, people set lofty goals without considering the gap between their current situation and the end result they want. This mismatch can lead to frustration and burnout if they push themselves too far, too fast. For example, someone new to running might set a goal to complete a marathon within a few months. While ambitious, it's also unrealistic for a beginner and could lead to physical injury and emotional disappointment if they can't achieve it. Instead, by setting a realistic, gradual goal such as running a mile without stopping or completing a 5K, they build both confidence and stamina, creating a foundation that supports longer-term aspirations. By knowing our current abilities and setting achievable, incremental goals, we set ourselves up for success while reducing the risk of discouragement and failure. Another important aspect of setting realistic goals is breaking them down into smaller, actionable steps. Large, overarching goals can be inspiring but also intimidating. When a goal seems too big, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, which can lead to procrastination or self-doubt. Breaking down a larger goal into smaller, manageable steps makes the process more approachable. Each small step achieved gives us a sense of accomplishment and keeps us motivated to continue. For instance, if our goal is to write a book, breaking it down into daily or weekly word count goals can make the process feel less daunting. Instead of focusing on the monumental task of completing an entire book, we concentrate on one page or chapter at a time. This step-by-step approach creates momentum, allowing us to see progress in real time and reinforcing our commitment to the larger goal. Realistic goals are also time-bound, giving us a clear timeline to work within. Without a time frame, goals can feel too open-ended, making it easier to push them off indefinitely. Setting deadlines creates a sense of urgency, which helps us prioritize our efforts and stay focused. However, these deadlines need to be reasonable to avoid setting ourselves up for failure. For instance, someone aiming to improve their fitness might set a goal to lose a certain amount of weight within a few months rather than within a few weeks. By giving ourselves enough time to make sustainable changes, we're more likely to stay committed and reach the goal in a healthy, balanced way. Realistic timelines foster consistency, allowing us to work steadily toward our goals without feeling rushed or overwhelmed. An essential part of setting achievable goals is flexibility. While it's important to have a plan, life is unpredictable and circumstances can change unexpectedly. If we're too rigid in our approach, unexpected obstacles can derail our progress or leave us feeling discouraged. Realistic goals are adaptable. They allow us to adjust our approach when necessary without losing sight of the overall objective. For example, someone saving for a major purchase might encounter an unexpected expense that delays their progress. Instead of abandoning the goal, they can revise the timeline or save in smaller increments until they're back on track. Flexibility prevents setbacks from becoming failures and helps us maintain a positive outlook, knowing that even if we need to adjust our goals, we're still moving forward. Accountability is another powerful tool in setting and achieving realistic goals. When we share our goals with others, whether it's a friend, family member, or mentor, we're more likely to follow through. Accountability partners provide support, encouragement, and a sense of responsibility, which can be especially helpful on days when motivation wanes. Realistic goals that include accountability mechanisms increase our chances of success. For instance, someone aiming to improve their public speaking skills might commit to attending a local speaking group or signing up for workshops with friends. Knowing that others are aware of our goals creates a sense of responsibility, encouraging us to stay committed. Accountability partners also offer a fresh perspective, providing constructive feedback and helping us stay grounded in our progress. One of the most important reasons to set realistic goals is that it builds confidence over time. When we achieve even small milestones, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of making progress and reaching our targets. This confidence accumulates, creating a cycle of motivation that propels us toward bigger and more ambitious goals. Each small success acts as a stepping stone, reinforcing our belief in our abilities and inspiring us to keep pushing forward. Setting unrealistic goals, on the other hand, often leads to repeated failures, which can damage our self-confidence and make us question our capabilities. Realistic goals give us a series of attainable targets that strengthen them our resolve and resilience, making each new goal seem more achievable. Another benefit of setting realistic goals is that it allows us to focus on quality over quantity. When we set too many goals or aim too high without a practical plan, we risk spreading ourselves too thin and compromising the quality of our work or efforts. By focusing on realistic goals, we're more likely to invest fully in each one, giving it the time, attention, and energy it deserves. This approach leads to a deeper, more fulfilling sense of accomplishment. For example, instead of trying to learn multiple new skills at once, we might focus on mastering one skill at a time. This not only makes the goal more achievable, but also ensures that we gain a comprehensive understanding and mastery, leading to greater satisfaction and success. Realistic goal setting encourages us to celebrate incremental progress, which is vital for maintaining motivation. Many people overlook the importance of acknowledging small wins, focusing solely on the end result. However, recognizing each milestone helps us appreciate the journey, reinforcing our commitment and making the process more enjoyable. Each small success acts as a reminder that we're moving in the right direction, even if the ultimate goal is still in the distance. Celebrating progress keeps our spirits high, making the journey feel worthwhile and energizing us to continue. Setting realistic, achievable goals is not about limiting our ambition, but about creating a sustainable, structured path towards success. By setting goals that are grounded in our current abilities, broken down into manageable steps, time-bound and flexible, we create a roadmap that we can realistically follow. These goals keep us focused and motivated, and they provide a clear, achievable path forward. Realistic goals give us the confidence to keep going, the resilience to adjust when needed, and the satisfaction of knowing that each small step brings us closer to our aspirations. By cultivating this approach to goal setting, we equip ourselves to build a life of consistent, fulfilling achievement, driven by purpose and supported by practical steps toward our dreams. Building self-discipline is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth and success. Unlike fleeting motivation, self-discipline is the steadfast commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when it's challenging or uncomfortable. It is the ability to take consistent action, resist temptations, and delay gratification in pursuit of longer-term goals. Self-discipline empowers us to push past obstacles and maintain focus on our priorities, creating habits that transform our lives. Through self-discipline, we develop resilience, responsibility, and control over our actions, qualities that support our growth and help us reach our aspirations regardless of temporary setbacks or external circumstances. The foundation of self-discipline lies in self-awareness. Understanding our triggers, weaknesses, and strengths allows us to create an environment and mindset that support our goals. Self-discipline doesn't mean pushing through obstacles blindly. Rather, it's about recognizing where we're most likely to falter and creating strategies to keep ourselves on track. For example, if someone is working on improving their health by eating better, recognizing that they're more likely to snack late at night can help them address this specific challenge. They might prepare healthy snacks in advance or avoid keeping junk food in the house altogether. Self-awareness also involves identifying our highest productivity periods and structuring our routines to maximize those times. By understanding ourselves deeply, we can establish routines and habits that support self-discipline, making it easier to stay committed to our goals. Setting clear goals is essential for self-discipline. When we have a well-defined objective, it becomes easier to align our actions with our purpose. Vague or undefined goals make it challenging to stay disciplined because we lack a clear sense of direction. By setting specific, measurable goals, we create a target to focus on, and this clarity strengthens our commitment. For instance, instead of saying, I want to be healthier, setting a specific goal, such as, I want to exercise for 30 minutes, 5 days a week, provides structure. This clarity in goal setting acts as a guiding force, helping us push through distractions and keep our efforts consistent. By knowing precisely what we want to achieve, we can develop the discipline needed to take action every day, even when our motivation fluctuates. Self-discipline also requires managing our time effectively. One of the primary reasons people struggle with self-discipline is because they feel overwhelmed by competing priorities. Time management is crucial to maintaining focus and making consistent progress toward our goals. When we organize our time well, we can allocate specific periods for essential tasks, reducing the risk of procrastination or distraction. By creating a schedule and sticking to it, we reinforce our commitment to our goals. For example, someone working on a side project might designate early morning hours for it, protecting that time from other obligations. With time management, self-discipline becomes less about willpower and more about adhering to a structured routine. This helps us maintain momentum as we don't waste time deciding what to do next or feeling overwhelmed by an unorganized schedule. An often overlooked aspect of self-discipline is the ability to delay gratification. Many people struggle to resist immediate rewards, even when they know a bigger long-term benefit awaits. Delayed gratification, the willingness to sacrifice a small, immediate pleasure for a more substantial future gain, is at the heart of self-discipline. It involves prioritizing our long-term goals over short-term impulses. For instance, someone saving money for a significant purchase may choose to forego dining out or buying luxury items, focusing instead on their saving goal. This choice strengthens self-discipline by reinforcing the importance of long-term rewards. Each time we choose delayed gratification, we strengthen our self-control, making it easier to resist future temptations. Over time, our commitment to our goals becomes stronger than our desire for instant satisfaction, helping us stay on course. Building self-discipline also involves overcoming self-doubt and limiting beliefs. Many people struggle with self-discipline because they don't fully believe in their ability to succeed. Negative self-talk, fear of failure, or past experiences can create mental barriers that make it difficult to stay committed. By actively working to replace these limiting beliefs with positive affirmations, we empower ourselves to pursue our goals wholeheartedly. Self-discipline requires us to push past our insecurities and trust in our capacity for growth. For example, if someone is working on developing a new skill, they may face self-doubt or fear that they're not good enough. However, by practicing positive self-talk and focusing on small successes, they build the confidence needed to keep going. Cultivating a mindset of growth and resilience enables us to maintain self-discipline, even when the path is uncertain. Another key to self-discipline is learning to forgive ourselves for setbacks. Progress is rarely a straight line, and moments of weakness are a natural part of any journey. Self-discipline is not about perfection, it's about consistency and resilience. When we fall short, it's easy to feel discouraged or view ourselves as failures. However, these moments offer valuable lessons that can make us stronger. By approaching setbacks with a growth mindset, we can see them as opportunities to learn and improve. For instance, if someone breaks their commitment to a fitness routine, instead of feeling guilty, they can reflect on what led to the lapse and adjust their approach. Forgiving ourselves and refocusing on our goals strengthens our discipline, as it allows us to recover from setbacks without losing momentum. Self-discipline is also strengthened through small, consistent actions. Discipline doesn't develop overnight, it grows through repeated practice. Starting with small, manageable steps makes it easier to build self-discipline and maintain it over time. For example, if someone wants to develop a reading habit, committing to reading a few pages each day is more sustainable than trying to finish a book a week right from the start. Small steps allow us to build momentum gradually, giving us a sense of achievement that encourages us to continue. Over time, these small actions become habits, making self-discipline a natural part of our routine rather than something we constantly have to struggle with. As we master small commitments, we gain the confidence to take on bigger challenges, knowing that we have the discipline to see them through. Self-discipline also requires patience. True progress, especially for meaningful goals, takes time, and it's easy to become discouraged if results aren't immediate. Patience helps us stay focused on the process rather than getting frustrated by the pace of our progress. By embracing patience, we learn to appreciate the small steps that lead to significant changes over time. Patience also helps us develop a more balanced perspective, where we value growth and learning rather than focusing solely on the end result. This mindset allows us to maintain our self-discipline without becoming discouraged or losing sight of our long-term goals. When we see each step as part of a larger journey, we're more likely to stay committed, knowing that each action, no matter how small, contributes to our overall progress. Self-discipline is about building trust in ourselves. Every time we keep a commitment, resist a temptation, or complete a challenging task, we reinforce our belief in our own reliability. This self-trust becomes a powerful motivator, giving us the confidence to pursue our goals with clarity and determination. Self-discipline helps us create an identity centered on resilience, commitment, and integrity. We come to see ourselves as people who follow through on our promises not only to others but also to ourselves. This internal sense of accountability makes it easier to set ambitious goals and work toward them with dedication. Over time, self-discipline becomes more than just a skill, it becomes a core part of who we are, empowering us to face challenges with strength and pursue our dreams with unwavering commitment. By cultivating self-discipline, we give ourselves the freedom to pursue our potential fully. We gain control over our actions, learn to prioritize our goals, and develop the resilience to keep going even in the face of adversity. Self-discipline transforms us, allowing us to live intentionally and achieve with purpose. In the end, self-discipline is not just a means to an end, it is the foundation of a life lived with integrity, focus, and fulfillment, guiding us toward the highest version of ourselves.